Hey, good morning. I got a dog over here and she's doing her best to be incredibly annoying. I don't know if you have an animal or if you have any animals, but if you do, then you probably know that they have a way of being incredibly annoying. So, that's what I'm going on. That's what I got going on this morning. Got the dog. She's like very, very needy and you know, she just doesn't really care, but that's okay. It's almost the new year. Um, this is my last video my last solo video of this year. It is the last day of the year. I've got another video to do later with Afton. So, um, I was going to use Die Hard as my last one. That was my original plan because that's my favorite Christmas movie, one of my favorite movies. And I decided to not go with that because I was compelled to do it earlier. And I just love that movie, so I couldn't wait. So I ended up deciding that I was going to go with a horror film because I was sick of not watching horror movies. I didn't all the way through like November, really, and most of December. So I was like, yeah, I love horror movies, and I haven't been watching them because I watched so many in November. I mean, so many in October. I was going crazy with it. And, you know, I just love horror movies. So I decided I was going to find a good horror movie, Christmas movie, to watch for my last own video. And I was rifling through things, I was thinking of stuff, and I ended up going with Black Christmas. Not the remake of 2000 whatever. I haven't seen that. I didn't think it looked that good, honestly, when I watched the trailer. And then I found out later on that it was a remake of an old movie, and the old one was supposed to be way superior. And it's a Christmas movie, so I decided to go with it. And I'm glad I did, although it will not become a staple in my own personal collection of movies, although it is a decent film. Um, it's just got, it starts off, it's got this totally 70s vibe going. Um, the way everyone's dressed, the decorations, the colors on the wall, like wallpaper and the vibe of everything. And when the phone calls start, they are truly creepy. they I don't know exactly how they decided to write the phone calls, but they would have been creepy if this movie was written today. They did a really good job writing the creep into the film. They really did. It's mostly like a women's liberation film, honestly. It's they wanted liberation, feminism, the strains of feminism, the earlier feminism where they really just wanted to be more free, not the modern day feminism, which is, I mean, quite frankly, let's admit that it's gotten a little bit ridiculous. There's a point where you're fighting for rights, and then there's a point where you're just being outrageous. Um, and we could talk about that in the comments if you had comments about it. See, look at this guy. So abortion rights are central to this film. Um, not only from the government, but also from men in a general way. So I don't want to spoil the plot in any way because I didn't even know this film existed until I really started looking at films. So someone else might not have known it existed and need to watch it for the first time. It was clearly like a low budget movie. They didn't have a lot of money when they were making this, but honestly, I think the low budget part works for it because it gives the film like a gothic feel, which really works heavily for the way that they intubated the violence into the film. The violence of the film is not bloody, it's not a big gory scene, it's not a graphic anything. It's very intimate and small scale, done in the dark. You might see the after effects of a couple things, but you don't actually see any real like killing. So this is a movie made for the ambiance, and they did a good job with that. It's for a movie where you're not seeing a lot of killing. Yes, I see you. I see you. I see you. Goodness gracious. I don't know why people text so early. I'm just trying to be awake and alive at 6 a.m. I don't need nobody talking to me. Where was I? I guess I was on the antagonist. Yeah, it's truly unnerving. There's voices, there's like moans, mumbles, screams, and speaking like a woman, having what sounds like some kind of psychotic internal dialogue over the phone to people who are just listening, and like creepiness. Like, it's really very well done. And I don't know if it was due to the limitations of budgetary concerns or whatever that they decided to, you know, display so much of it in the dark. I do know that they did certain things on purpose, like the ambiguity of the killer. You never really see him, but he's played by several different actors, so you don't ever get like a clear glimpse on what he looks like, even when you get small snippets. It's kind of interesting the way they did it. Probably, like I said, due to budgetary concerns. I know that a few different people did voices on the phone calls, although it's all supposed to be one person. So that was kind of cool. I thought what they did well was displayed a clearly traumatized person who had been through quite a bit in his life, and he was trying to pass that pain on to others, I would say. And they did well with that. So this is not a gory horror, this is a psychological horror. And, you know, like I said, I'll probably never watch it again. Not because it's not a good movie, but because out of all the best movies that I have an option to watch at Christmas time, well, I'm also going to be trying to get through everything that there is to review. And there's a lot. So, I would give this movie a 7.5. Now, I'll call it an 8. I do know that it was the first of a series of things that later movies emulated, so it is an OG in its category, and it is a well-made movie, and it is an enjoyable movie. Honestly, I thought, the acting might have left a little bit to be desired, but they were all a bunch of no names at that point, and it still wasn't bad. It wasn't like terrible. It's not gonna make you go, ugh, I can't sit through this. Not gonna make you do that. So I said 7.5. I'll give it that 8. It is a classic, and it is a well-made movie, and it is an interesting enough movie. If you like those old colors, like those 70s colors, if you know what I'm talking about, you could watch this thing with the sound off and find it at least somewhat enjoyable. So I think I got another video to do with Afton later on today. Almost done with this stuff. Almost time for a new year, a new day, a new dawn. I hope that you guys enjoy your 31st of December, because tonight is New Year's. Let's do it.